Hello, this is Keith at Down Redwood Groves, and today we're going to work on our firewood shed. So today's firewood shed is going to be, it's going to be about 7 feet wide and 16 feet long. I'm going to use pallets to rise on support for the firewood, and we're going to use pressure treated 4x4s to be the post of the ground. So this is what we're going to work on today. Now the ground, you can kind of see, I took the ground and got it all nice and level. So that's a little bit better. So I mean, I'm not going to show you how to level ground. That's pretty straightforward. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there for that. But basically just brought the dirt in and took the level, and I actually used a couple of 2x4s that I had laying around here for an old firewood rack, and used that to drag and kind of keep level, and I just kept using the level and leveled it all down, drove the tractor across, packed all the dirt down so it should be packed. We'll put cement blocks underneath the pallets so the pallets aren't sitting in dirt trying to get moisture out of the ground and help rot them, so they should last a little longer. So I took some paint and marked out. I took these 2x8 16 feet long, and I squared everything up to the driveway, and I then took tape measure and marked out where I wanted the post holes to be dug, and I've marked those with some paint, so as soon as this board moves, we'll know where I still need to dig the holes. So I'm going to dig 6 holes. I'm going to put posts in the middle, and then that'll give me a wall to be able to put in here so that I can separate the wood to help create a decent rotation for this. So let's get the post hole digger in and start digging. Okay, so post hole digging didn't get really videotaped too well. I do have the one video of it, and of course that was the hole. I hit a huge rock. This whole area is granite. There's a granite quarry less than a mile from here that it's a solid rock, and my sawmill is sitting on a solid rock, and behind this is all solid rock. And well, anyhow, first hole I tried videotaping had a rock in there, and I stopped videotaping and I started drilling holes, and the other 5 holes were good, dug deep, no rocks. So sorry about that, but anyhow, this is what we're working on today. We're setting the posts. So I'm setting up my wood shed to be able to handle 2 pallets side by side, and most pallets are 42 inches, so I'm making it 84 inches wide. So I put the posts in, marked the strings at 84 inches, and I started putting my posts and leveling them, and filling them with concrete mix, so that when it rains, and we're gonna get rain, that concrete will set and get sewn through. What I'm using, because it's just me, I'm using my wonderful 2x4 setup. I'm screwing it down, marking it to where the dimensions are, getting the pole leveled and trued up, and then filling it with concrete. So let's do that. And when I get to this last one here, I'm just going to dig the dirt all the way down to the stone, put the pole in. I will tie it with lumber to get it where I want it, put concrete in the hole, fill that mess all up with concrete, and that'll have to hold it in place, at least that way. And of course, once it's all tied in with the roof and everything, the wood will hold it in. I'm putting a wall in across between this post and this post so that I can stack lumber up on it, so it'll be held in place, so it'll be okay. But I would have rather had it down to, I think I'm about 7 inches down before I hit the rock. So it is what it is, and let's keep moving. So what we're going to do is just fill this hole here with concrete. I got this concrete from, I don't remember which, actually, box store. But you can get concrete pretty much at any hardware store. So I'll partially fill it, and then I'll take the level I can take the level and just move the board post just enough to wiggle it in. I'll stomp the concrete in, and we should be good. And you can see we're just resting on that string. That keeps the post fairly square and true. Let's see if I can give it a little twist. There we go. Just a little twist to get it so it's running right next to that string. Let me fill this concrete up. So I tied in the corner on the bottom, so I got the dimension that I'm looking for from that post over to this post, and then I did the same from this post corner over to this corner. But that sounded low, so low that this post was too wobbly, and I need to get some tie supports in. So what I ended up doing is I put the beam for the rafters up. I got that in location, and I screwed them in so that I got that at the height I'm looking for to tie that in. And I just took another 2x4 and I put that in so I can get the concrete in. It is getting darker and darker by the second, and I'm just a little afraid we might get some rain, and I want to get this concrete in. So what I did here, as you can see, hopefully you can see, it is a huge rock. It's in location. So I dug around further than a normal post hole digger would get, so that I got some concrete all the way around it. I'll fill this all up with concrete. That'll help hold it in place and keep it from moving the ground and everything else, and it'll add a little extra weight. But the other 5 posts are definitely sunk in deep enough that I don't have to worry about just the roof becoming an airplane and lifting up. Plus there'll be some walls in here. I may actually take the pallets and screw them into the walls to actually help have the wood from the firewood as a weight also. I'm thinking as I'm building this, that makes a lot more sense. So let's fill this hole up with concrete. I bought 6 bags of concrete, 1 for each post. This is the last of 5, so I don't know if I'm going to actually use the 6th one. Well, looks like I have to make a decision here. Open that up or not. But I think I'm going to open it up, and we'll fill top of this hole off, and I got a couple more. I'll stamp them down a little bit more and just add some more to the top. My experience with concrete is these bags are relatively inexpensive, and keeping around, they just get too much moisture in them anyways, and you end up having a bag of concrete that's got enough moisture in there that you can't use it, and you end up just throwing it out. And you can't, well, I guess I could have took this bag back, but the time to take it back isn't really worth it. So we'll pile up the concrete on the rest of these holes and get a nice cone shape on them, so that if we do get any, when it cures, it'll try to push the moisture away from the post versus into the post, and we'll go from there. To get the roof pitch, what I did was I took a 2x4, laid it on top of that 2x8, ran across here, got a level line, and then I dropped it down the amount of pitch that I want. Brought that line across here, and then I dropped it down to too many lines here, but this line right here is the height of a 2x8, 7¼ inches. So I scribed that line, and now that will be where I set the bottom of, I'll put my clamp right on the top of that, so then when I put my 2x8, it'll be on this edge. I'll go over and I'll screw it onto that side once I get it level, and then I can come back here and I'll have this side started. Okay, I think I showed this in my water tower assembly. If you haven't seen that, take a look at that in the water tower playlist. But you gotta use these clamps. It's just the only way to do that, especially if you're by yourself. Put a clamp on the bottom where you want to mark, put the board up, bring it over to the other side, use your level, make sure you're nice and level, screw it in, and then bring the other clamps, multiple clamps, and bring it over here. Mark your lines, get everything going, and then you can screw it in. So it's as simple as that. I really do like these Cobalt. They're 24 volt brushless. Not represented or sponsored, I'm just something I bought. They're pretty good. You get pretty good discounts at Lowe's. Look at them and get them on sale, and the batteries seem to be dirt cheap and last a real long time. So we're going to see how this works. I dropped that pitch to be a 2x4 drop, so across the 84 inches, 3½ inches. So what I did is I put a 2x4 in between and screw that up. I'm going to level this 2x4 over here, and we'll see how close that actually comes to holding the 2x8 going across, and see how level that actually works. But it should give me a good starting point, and we'll see how level and square all my stuff is. So we can see I got the 2x4 level, and I've got it sitting on just one clamp. I took and measured the distance of 84 inches from that post to that post. I put it on that line. So now all I will do is take and I'll push the beams and tie it together so that this line is on that edge. So we can see we got that post on that mark, and we can see that we are pretty level. So let's screw it together. All we got left is the 2x8 beam or post. No, beam. All we got left is the 2x8 beam to go across from the center post over to this outside one.